Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And as you will no doubt have seen from the title, we're in slightly different territory today. As promised, we're at the court of King Arthur. And this is going to be a little series of readings that I do, depending on how they resonate with you and how they resonate with me, where we're going to explore something slightly different, something slightly more mystical, more to do with the world as well. I was recently chastised by a friend of mine who said, you need to be giving us more hope, you need to be reading wider than just the royals, and you need to be giving us something to give us hope. And it stuck with me, and it is something that I often think as I do these readings. I often think I should be doing something more profound. I should be finding other ways of communicating with the universe and bringing messages back from up there. And this might be the way forward for me, not the way forward. I will still be doing my normal royal readings, and if this slight detour into the mystical doesn't interest you, then don't worry, I will carry on with the normal royal readings. This will be a sideline, a separate playlist that I'll dip into every now and then, but it might be the way for me to look at things from a slightly more mystical point of view, and also look at the world around us from this slightly different perspective, just a different door that's opening slightly, and it might swing wide open. We'll see. So that's where I am coming from, and what provoked this, what prompted this, was Amanda Ellis. She's on YouTube, and she did a reading. It was more than a reading, it was a thought process about Prince William and whether he is the embodiment, as she describes it, of King Arthur, his energy that has come into the world now, as according to the Arthurian legend, King Arthur, the once and future king, would return at the time of England's greatest need. And I'm going to use England as a cipher for basically the world. And it's very interesting, and she's just put another one out, and she talks about William and King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table and who might be the Knights of the Round Table. Hint includes women, and it's all very interesting, and it resonated for me. So I'm going to look at this first reading today on this Prince William, King Arthur theme using the new Palladini Tarot. I don't necessarily have the best tarot decks for this slight detour, but I'm working on it, and the new Palladini Tarot will have to do for now. And I'm going to have a look at this story. Interestingly, Princess Diana wanted to call William Arthur, and he is William Arthur, so the name is there. And Diana, of course, the Lady of the Lake, and all kinds of resonances, all kinds of connections that we could go into now, but I don't want to make this a 5-hour-long reading. I will go into it broadly over, as I say, time. I'm going to dip into this probably weekends. Every now and then I'll dip into it, and my ignorance will be exposed. I know something about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, but I'm not obsessed with it. So you, I'm sure, will know a lot more about it than I do. I'm looking at it from a point of view of where we are as a collective now. And is this some energy that's coming in that is basically going to help us? And it's interesting for me as a reader because I keep seeing Prince William. I see him really lonely. I see him wanting brothers around him. I see him needing help. And that would be the Knights of the Round Table, that kind of collective that's might be starting to gather around him to support him, especially right now that his wife is so ill. So I think that is all I need to say right now in this reading. I'm going to just dip into this energy. I'm going to ask about the resonance between Prince William and King Arthur. Of course, Arthur is a legend. Not necessarily real, as Amanda Ellis says, not necessarily real in this dimension, but energetically real at some level. So I need to explain that as well. So Prince William, we're going to ask about his awareness of this destiny, if there is any awareness, his connection with England and the shape that England is in right now, his strengths and weaknesses, because of course King Arthur had his weaknesses, and Prince William does too. And we're not going to look at enemies, the enemy within and all of that. We'll look at that some other time. And whether Prince William will stick with his duty or walk away, and how ultimately it's all going to go. There's the magician, there's Merlin. It's all very interesting. Well, I find it interesting. As I say, apologies to those who don't find this interesting, but sometimes things change. I feel a bit as if I'm on a train and there's been a switching signal and just been put on a slightly different trajectory. That's what's going on for me. Very interesting energy around at the moment. It's flowing quite strongly now, I have to say. Feeling a little bit shaky almost. So we'll do our usual disclaimer, because this is archetypal and it is tarot, and it's just me and my opinions and just me reading energy. And let's see where it takes us. The old disclaimer in the box below, and let's see what universe has to say about all of this today. There we go. I'll explain the cards as we go through it. We've got the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is in reverse. That's very much internet. The Page of Swords, even YouTube, and what I was watching and want to talk about now. It's also, because it's in reverse, the Page of Swords, I think is that toxic element of social media, the trolls that are out there. And one of the things that Amanda Ellis was talking about in her second reading or chat about this topic was that the attacks would be coming from this level. In the old days, in the time of King Arthur, no such thing. There were different enemies. Some with the same energy, but this is the enemy now. The Page of Swords in reverse. The trolls, I was talking about them yesterday, and the ugliness that has taken over certain sectors. And this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with viciousness and poison and character assassinations. And I think the most despicable people now are the ones who have access to keyboards and lack basic humanity and decency. There they are for me, that Page of Swords in reverse. So that's interesting that that has shown up already as the underpinnings of the story and why we might be where we are in the world right now. So let's see the situation. And the situation is the King of Rods, that's the King of Wands, and it's reversed. That's very King Arthur. William does show up as the King of Rods, King of Wands, sometimes in my readings. He is normally King of Cups, obviously, but that is the charismatic leader, the one who comes to inspire. He's creative, he's passionate, more outspoken, passionate about causes, crusading. I don't mean crusading in the horrible sense of the word. I mean crusading for good causes sense of the word. So don't take that again, hold that against me, please. The King of Wands in reverse, the missing energy, the missing king, the missing leadership that our world currently is experiencing. And it's, where are the heroes? Where are the people who should be leading us? If you look at the vast majority of countries, the leadership is an absolute disarray. It's disgraceful. I speak for my own country. I look around and I see other countries that were once models of good leadership and statesmanship and all those wonderful things, democracy. What on earth is going on? There we have the missing energy with the King of Wands in reverse. So let's look at Prince William now and his connection with this Arthurian legend, what the tarot wants to tell me now. Wow, we've got the Empress. That's England, very clearly. It is the mother, of course, who would have connected him, tapped him into this energy. It's coming very strongly from her, from Princess Diana, this aspect. It's not coming so much from the Windsor side of things, for me anyway. Energetically, it's very, very powerful. It's interesting that it's come up as the Empress, not the Emperor, because it's now tapped into the feminine. And the story was, of course, reimagined in the 80s, the Mists of Avalon. I'm sure plenty of you out there have read the book and the reimagining of the story from a feminist perspective, and a very interesting take on it. And Prince William is very much a man who's in touch with his feminine side. Very manly man, but also a very balanced man energetically. And so there's a lot in this card for me. It's such a powerful energy that it tells me, yes, there is a resonance. There is a resonance in the terms of leadership and potency and creative power, because the Empress is about creation and fertility and abundance and making new things, powerful new things with her energy. So that's interesting. Tell me, is he aware of any particular destiny? I mean, obviously he was brought up from very young being aware that he was going to be king one day, all going according to plan. Is he aware of anything other? Has it kind of whispered to him? I've got the Eight of Pentacles. I don't think he's consciously tapped into it. The Eight of Pentacles is a workmanlike card. It's duty. And one of the things that Amanda Ellis talks about, she's not nearly as negative about Prince Harry, for instance, as I am. She said that Prince William carries the duty template and Harry carries the freedom template, and that the two need to be harmonized. And there is the duty card, the Eight of Pentacles, that has shown up in his sense of his destiny, is that he has to put his shoulder to the wheel. This is something that requires work and effort and learning and practice and mastering. This isn't something that's fun. This isn't something that's making him feel very special and important. Not at all. It's quite humbling. If he is aware of any sense of destiny, he is aware of it only at the level of, I'm here to work, I'm here to answer the call of duty. I'm going to ask at the end of this reading if he is going to stick around and answer that call of duty, or disappear, as I sometimes see in his energy when I do readings on him, that he might be tempted at some stage to walk away. But there it is, that's the call of duty. So let's talk now about England. And as I say, yes, England, Albion, all that kind of stuff, but greater than that as well, further afield than that as well. So let's have a look and see about Prince William and his connection with that concept. And there's the Ten of Rods, that's the Ten of Wands, very burdened by it. There's something that lies very heavily on his soul, that there is a sense of destiny, and there is a sense of something that he would really like to put down and walk away from. It's very much take this cup away from me, please. That kind of energy. I'm getting quite emotional as I say that. It's something that really resonates with him, but at a sense of obligation that is almost overwhelming. It is overwhelming because it's at the 10 level now of, this is so hard, this is impossible, I need help. That 10 of Wands card for me is the I need help. Where are the people who are going to help carry this burden with me? Where are my knights? Where are they? That's the energy. So tell me about the state of the world right now. Is this the time when we need this kind of energy? We've got the 7 of Cups. It's by no means a terrible card, the 7 of Cups. But what it tells me is that we're in a place where what is real, what is reality, is rather undefined. And we have entered that territory. It's interesting, we have rainbow there, for instance, here. And now your gender can be undefined. Your role in the world can be quite fluid as well. Who are you? Infinite possibilities with the 7 of Cups, but also a tremendous amount of delusion. And as I said, I was quite struck by the fact that this was the underlying energy, this Page of Swords in reverse, the trolls and the whatevers, that possibly people don't have much sense of their own duty and their own role in the world. And there's nothing wrong with potential and thinking that you can have it all and you can be anything you like and you can dream big and all of that stuff. But we might have strayed into territory that is quite dangerous because of that. I'm not getting 7 of Cups as calamity, but more deluded. More people don't see reality, aren't very grounded, aren't very realistic about the world that we are in, which is quite interesting. That, to me, those two go together. So tell me about Prince William now in terms of strengths and weaknesses. If he's embodying this kind of energy, and the Empress card certainly was a very powerful endorsement of that concept. Strengths first. What's on his side? He's humble. Page of Rods, and that for me goes with this Ace of Pentacles. He's a messenger. He communicates well. He can send out a kind of a message to the world with that Page of Rods. He can spread things, because Wands are very much about international travel, as you can see the pyramids there in the background. Setting off on adventures. He's passionate about things. I'm getting the same energy as I got with the King of Rods, which we're waiting for. We're waiting for that to activate. I often say with cards in reverse, it's energy that hasn't activated yet. So we're waiting. The once and future King, where is he? We need him. Not terribly much so far, just by the way. This isn't the worst possible reading. I've seen some of those lately. But this Page of Wands tells me that he can motivate people. He can get a message out to people. People will listen to him because he's not a politician. And that's his importance. Even though he's royal, he's coming across as somebody who is relatable, somebody people can trust, somebody people can follow. They can be inspired by. They can think, all right, we can go on this adventure together and it's going to be fun and it's going to be exciting and we can do stuff. We can get stuff done. Ace of Pentacles is a person who gets stuff done, who moves us from the 7 of Cups energy of, well, anything is possible and we'll just sit and watch TV or stream things all weekend and eat bad food, highly processed whatever's food, and send some hate out into the universe, keyboard warriors. This is getting stuff done and inspiring people and sending messages out. Weakness. I'm a bit of dread when I see the weakness. What is that going to be? The Ace of Swords in reverse isn't his own personal weakness, which is interesting. For me, this Ace of Swords in reverse is coming from people who are liars, dishonest people, people who want to destroy the crown. Very clear, because here the crown is held aloft with that sword, which would be Excalibur, and it's in reverse. So it's people, traitors within, and we're going to look at those traitors within probably next time I tackle these topics. people who want to destroy the monarchy, people who are speak with forked tongues, people who are dishonest, people who are treacherous, duplicitous, people who want to cut down instead of build up. Is he going to do his duty? Is he going to stick around? King of Swords in reverse. He might not. He might not. It might become too overwhelming for him. Ten of Rods. King of Swords is somebody who's very clear-headed, who's very dispassionate, wise, well-advised. In reverse, somebody who really might just feel overwhelmed and confused and clouded and lost, and might think at some stage, I can't do this anymore because I don't have the right temperament for it. It's hurting me. We've got two kings in reverse here, interestingly, and an empress upright. He might mature into it, and it might take some time. I've said here, this is activation energy. It might activate, but I think right now he's going through a kind of a midlife crisis, typical for that age, early 40s. I say that relentlessly. King of Swords in reverse. I'm hoping that the activation aspect of this card is the true essence of it in this reading, and that at some stage he's going to step into that King of Swords role, where he's going to think, all right, I'm wise enough, I'm dispassionate enough, I'm well advised enough to endure this burden, to carry this burden, and I can do it. Very much for me, the monarchy, when it's in its monarch energy, is sword energy. The late Queen came through as the Queen of Swords very often, not Queen of Pentacles, which she was by rights. So I'm hoping, but I think right now he's really interrogating this whole thing and pondering it, and is it worth it? How will it go for him? Overwhelming, that Two of Pentacles. And that's a constant theme as well in these readings. At the moment, Two of Pentacles is feeling depleted, exhausted, overwhelmed, unbalanced, that you just don't have enough inner strength, you don't have enough resources, energy, whatever it takes, gumption to survive this and this. It's going to be really tough. It's going to take an enormous toll on him, and which is why I think this whole Amanda Ellis thing has come into my consciousness and into hers as well, that the people need to rally round. And she's quite clear in her message that yes, the knights are around, some in spirit, some physically around him, but more than that, our own energy is needed to see this thing through, to sustain him, to lift him up, and just keep him going. And especially right now, I'm tapping into the river. The river is going to change. If I do the same reading 5 minutes time, I'm going to get different energy, which similar but different, and this can be worked on. And so I think there is work to be done, and we'll do a bit of this work here on this channel, and let me know how it goes with you and what you think, and I'll dip into this as and when, and I'm going to keep on with the track today with this. I'm going to look at the first of the band of brothers in the next reading, Mike Tyndall.